Hey, what's up? It's your boy, SWEAVER, back here with a piping hot video for ya. And if you're new here, hi there. How you doing? Welcome to the family. So during this quarantine, it's given me a little bit of time to do some modifications to the studio, which I'll cover in another video. And in doing so, I've actually wound up stumbling upon a bunch of old show flyers as well as some Polaroids, pictures, and it just reminded me of the story I've been meaning to tell you guys for a while about the absolute worst show I've ever played with my band. And I'm gonna squash this right now. No, it's not because I was really drunk, it's not because the sound guy sucked, it's not because my equipment or my pedal or my whatever. No, this was simply just a case of a bad set list on a bad slot time with just a rough crowd. Now personally, I like to think of negative situations like this as an amazing learning experience. And man, did I learn a lot from this one. So why don't you kick back and let an old man tell you a tale. Every year, the city of Vancouver throws a Pride Festival, obviously celebrating the LGBTQ community that we have here. Dope. Awesome. And for the last 4 or 5 years, my band has been fan requested to play this thing. Let's take this off. This is ridiculous. And every year, it's been a great experience. Our merch bag gets swallowed up, we get a fat check just for showing up and plugging in, and we get to meet a bunch of new and exciting people who usually wind up becoming fans, or at the very least, we got some good conversations and drank some brewskis. Unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, this was not the case in the summer of 2019. So we arrived like 45 minutes early for this, 12:30 set. We get there, start unloading our gear, and that's when we get approached by the event manager. They come up to us and they just inform us, hey, we've had a little bit of a backup here. If you guys could play it at like 3:15, that would be perfect. Hey, no big deal. I get it, brother. All we gotta do is update our social media, let the fans know, hey, we're gonna be on a couple hours late. No big deal. Nobody freak out, enjoy the festivities. So we decide, hey, it'd be really super sweet. Let's go down the street, grab a couple beers, have a burger, whatever. We got some time to kill. And we roll up backstage about 15 minutes before we're supposed to go on. It's then that we're informed that not only have the acts been running way longer than they should, but they actually were pausing the show intermittently to wait for acts that were running late. So at this point, we're not going on till like 5 or 5:30, somewhere like basically we're going on at the end. No big deal, but I am a little bit of an anxious guy, so my lungs were like in my legs at this point. But we gotta keep it professional. So, of course, do the same thing. Hey brother, no big deal. We got you, we understand you. It's a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Everybody's having a good time. We're just baking out here in the beautiful sunshine. And then it's showtime, baby. We get on stage, I'm passing out the set lists. I'm like, yeah, let's get this bread. I am ready to rock and roll the house down. Like I said, dude, we loved this festival. I freaking loved it. Get up, we start playing. We're rocking and rolling. Fred's slamming on the drums. Sam's bending them bass strings forward, backward, sideways, up and down, and sipping it down, brother. We're having a good old time. I'm rolling around, I'm knocking shit over. I'm yelling, I'm playing some guitar solos, just absolutely killing it, song after song, delivering. And then halfway through our set, somebody comes up to me and whispers, hey there, we need you guys to kind of like wrap it up. We've got this other act that's supposed to go on. It was supposed to go on earlier in the day, but they couldn't because. So my understanding was, hey, give us one more song, we'll get off. We were supposed to have like another 10-15 minutes, but again, no big deal. So I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's just rip and roll. Let's play our hardest song, Sick of Saying Sorry. So we busted that jam out, which if any of y'all are fans of my band and have checked that song out, that is a very aggressive song. And I don't know why I chose to do that song, and even though I censored the heck out of that song, it's still... I don't understand. I'm sorry that you lost control. I'm so sick of saying I'm sorry. So we play it, we deliver, we smash it, I'm screaming, my vocal cords are fried, I'm sounding like Filthy Frank out there, it's beautiful. We get off stage, I give Fred the old knucks, I give Sam a little huggy hug, and I'm starting to walk my amp to the back when all of a sudden this little old lady comes over to me. And she goes, were you that young man singing in that band? And I was like, yeah, it's me. Oh, mind you, for context, if you haven't seen my shows before, I'm usually like in black pants and nothing else. No shirt, no shoes, no service, if you get what I'm saying. So imagine a very heavily tatted man, sweating, red in the face, blown vocal cords down here. And this woman came up to me and said, "You are the most vile and disgusting man in all of Portland, Vancouver, and your music is sin." In the music scene, I say that kind of shit to other bands as a joke. You know what I mean? Like, we'll come up and be like, "Man, that was just this wall of noise and terrible, and I loved it." And that's what I thought she was gonna do, because usually when we play this, people freaking love us. But this was not the case. This woman genuinely hated me. I was like, "Oh my God, thank you so much." Her response was something to the effect of like, "You're an asshole, blah, 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 blah." Something obscenity. And then she stormed off. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, in like the 6 years I've been like playing gigs and touring and stuff, I've never actually encountered somebody that just hated me. That was the weirdest thing. I've never had somebody straight up just go, "You are the most vile and disgusting man in all of town." I don't know, I felt like I was gonna get led to like the stocks or something and just get tomatoes thrown at me. It just destroyed this ego that I've built up, or this persona I've built up for the last 6 years touring and playing shows, just crushed me in a moment. And it was about that time that I felt a hand on my shoulder, and I turn around, it's the event security, and he goes, "Dude, you blow me away every single year. Every time you guys come play, you're my favorite act. And you just sounded great. Don't let her get to you. She's just having a bad day." So I later found out that this woman was actually really mad at me because she was a part of the choir that was supposed to go on after my band, but everything had gotten pushed back so far that they wound up starting when like all the vendors were shutting down. And so they thought that my band was the reason everybody was leaving. And it was about that time that I saw a line forming behind him, coming into the tent that we were in backstage. And I was just like, okay, here we go. A bunch of Karens ready to just destroy me as a person. So I'm ready to just beeline it for my car, get all my gear in there, and just never play another show again. I'm ready to just shut it all down. Rock and roll is dead. Just, ugh. And as I'm picking up my amplifier, throwing my bag on, this kid steps out of the line and goes, "Hey, do you guys have any CDs?" And I was like, "What?" And they were like, "Yeah, do you guys have any CDs, shirts, whatever? I want to buy something." And I was like, "Yeah, totally. Yeah, sure." So little entrepreneur me starts whipping out merchandise, and all of a sudden that line that was all the way at the other end of the tent comes in. There's like 20, 30 people in this itty bitty tent with me, all wanting a piece of merch, all wanting stickers, all wanting CDs, all wanting me to sign something, talk to me. Didn't hear the band's name, needs to know who we are, wants to find us on Instagram, all this stuff. Crazy. And I realized I had made this one person so mad they hated me, thought I was despicable, thought my music was sin. But to these 20, 30 people, I was cool. I said what they wanted to hear. And that hit me in such a weird way. And it changed the way that I viewed what I do. Obviously, I do music for me. For me, it's a way that I cope with what's in my brain and the life that I've lived. But this was such a real example of people that saw me on stage rolling around, breaking stuff, hurting myself, and singing passionately, and they said, "This guy's cool, this guy gets it, I want his shirt, I want his CD." And it was such a Marilyn Manson moment for me. I think I actually understand how that guy feels. There's this whole sect of people that hate him and want to bring him down. But at the end of the day, there's a core audience for you. There's a core audience for me, and I found them and I delivered. I walked away that day with $300 in my pocket, an empty bag of merch, and my band got paid. That's amazing. And I went home so inspired after that. And that was the greatest lesson that I've ever learned. You have to keep your head up. You can't blow up like that. There are going to be inconveniences that are going to stress you out and bring your anxiety all the way up. But man, if you keep hitting it, if you bring your A game every single time, Even if somebody goes, that was terrible, your music's sin, the most vile and disgusting man, guess what? There's gonna be 20 or 30 people that wanna buy your shirt, that wanna buy your merch, that wanna know who you are, shake your hand, and get your autograph. I'm by no means famous, but I signed like 10 pieces of paper that day. All because I kept my head up, I kept it professional. And even though inside I wanted to die, I literally felt my heart explode into a million little fragments and then get stepped on and pooped on. I walked away with $300 in my pocket, an empty bag of merch, and I paid my band. Let me just mention really quick that this lady went as far as to put a post of me on Facebook. Facebook did that thing where it just like auto tags you in something. But basically the caption of this went, if you have a chance to hear this fella perform, skip it. I don't know, man. I've just kind of wanted to talk about this for a while, and I figured while we're in quarantine and I'm flipping through all these like nostalgic pictures, I just want to talk about it. Now, if y'all would like to help this spooky man make some dark art, please feel free to check out my Patreon at patreon.com/SWEAVER. Over there, we got some crazy stuff going on. We got a monthly podcast. We got downloads. We got behind the scenes footage. You're helping me out. You're helping the studio out. And at the end of the day, you're getting some quality content while also helping me keep strings on my guitars. It's beautiful. It's an awesome trade. So check that out if you're feeling so generous. That's all I got. Be safe, be respectful, be responsible, don't get eaten by bears, and don't let the negativity win, brah! And stay spooky. Ooh.